4 years ago, Carl was diagnosed with a degenerative brain disease called FTD, or frontal temporal dementia. At the time, he was 52. His family actually noticed signs of abnormal behavior at least 2 years before, but initially, as is often the case, he was diagnosed with some sort of depression or psychological issue. When he was diagnosed, the disease had already affected his performance at work and a fair amount of his social behavior. About a month after he was properly diagnosed, he had to leave his job, and shortly after that was no longer allowed to drive. As the name indicates, FTD affects the frontal temporal area of the brain, the area responsible for executive functions including reasoning, personality, social behavior, speech, language, and certain aspects of memory. Additionally, and most disturbing, it affects insight. Carl had little to no awareness into the fact that there was anything wrong. As his disease progressed, there were behavioral changes. This relatively reserved person would now dance and sing aloud to music wherever he was. He began just walking right into neighbors' houses. He once stood up in the middle of a restaurant and announced that he had to poop and darted off to the restroom. He lacked understanding of relativity, in terms of money referring to a new Nissan Altima as costing about $2,000 and a Snickers candy bar about $10. As FTD progressed further, he would ardently insist he wasn't doing something, eating something he's not supposed to, or walking into a busy street, as he was doing that very thing. With all of these behavioral issues in a man that otherwise appeared physically completely healthy, it was easy to look at all of those interactions one has with people which seem off, inappropriate, or completely out of the blue, and wonder how many cases of FTD or any form of dementia go misdiagnosed, or worse, completely undiagnosed. Eventually, the disease begins to affect communication.
What year were you born?
Carl began perseverating, repeating a word or phrase over and over and over and over, and unless you've experienced this, it's hard to imagine how long it can go on and with such gusto. Now Carl rarely speaks, one or two words at the most, and he can occasionally write a few words.
Finally, somebody gets where I'm coming from.
What is my name? Can you say my name? Carl, can you say my name?
There is no known cause for FTD. Carl was an extremely healthy person, exercising 3 times a week, eating very healthy, never partook in drugs, and very, very rarely had an alcoholic beverage. Without continued and deeper research, we won't be able to at least begin diagnosing properly and earlier. We won't be able to find a cause, cure, or even a way to prevent FTD and other forms of dementia. Let's put our brains together and support brain research. Visit www.neurofilmfestival.com.